Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's video in which we are going to explore the masterclass of embracement, which is embracing life, which of course is compared to the other two videos I've made earlier about embracing any subject in the here and now and embracing pain. It's a whole different matter because obviously, life expands over a long period of time, usually. So it will take, again, a lot of commitment and a lot of presence for you in order to embrace the entire process of life. So in general, you want to practice your willpower by meditating and sitting still for maybe half an hour, 1 hour. Practice not to move in order to improve your willpower. You will need willpower in order to even embrace the bad situations and take the approach of embracement throughout the entire journey of your life. Obviously, this is a task that is supposed to fail, but once again, failing is just another step of growing and developing yourself. So embrace that failure as well, because life does also consist out of failure. And failing in the process of trying to embrace failure is once again just another challenge for you to master. So don't worry, don't get frustrated, just accept it as part of the process. And again, acceptance as commitment and willpower are three fundamental character traits that you might need to develop in order to embrace your entire journey of your life. Anyways, what does it mean to embrace life anyways? So in order to fully display what it can mean to embrace life, I would like to use the symbol and the picture of the contrast. So as the contrast, as theory main point, as the axiom of my theory, I want to use the picture of the contrast as the picture of modern day work slavery. Because what we see very often when we look around throughout society in this world is people who are somehow caught up in a job they don't really like, they don't really enjoy, working together with people which are not same-spirited, which are not inspiring each other, and which who don't have the same ambitions in order to strive and to develop the qualities of their soul. So why do people engage on a long-term period of time in such work relationships that do not really make them enjoy and embrace life, which in my opinion is one of the main goals of life? We should ask ourselves, why do I live and what do I want to do with my life, right? Do I want to do that kind of work that's the same all over again, for which I get promised money and security, right? So that's the main reason most people will try to get bound into working conditions in which they cannot exceed themselves, they cannot feel fulfilled in the work, in the purpose they are serving, but instead they are getting promised security and money, wealth, and therefore on prestige and attention from other people, right? So those fundaments of modern day slavery, how I will call it now, which is of course an exaggeration, just in order to display the contrast between embracing and being enslaved, practically. And those values of security and wealth are modern day rational, secure values, right? So if we want to contrast that with a picture of embracing life, rational and security would contrast to intuitivity and risk, right? Intuition and taking risk. How many of these two values do you still practically imply in your daily life? Very little probably, and that's no problem because you are determined to do so by society, by school, by your parents. But let's see, what's the original state of nature here? So everything outside of society, there is no real concept such as security. If you've ever seen any documentary, any BBC documentary for example, you might observe that the little ones, the cute little puppies and chickens get fed first. Yes, that's the reality of nature, that death is pretty much always your companion, and that those who are weak and those who are young or old can die in the blink of an eye when they get hunted down by their natural predators. So in terms of human society, this whole concept has of course changed entirely, and we don't accept to die in the blink of an eye, maybe today or tomorrow. We are planning long term, we are planning for when we will go into retirement and when we can do finally what we've been dreaming of doing. But be aware, these concepts of security are a construct of human society, and they can never be 100% safe. There is no thing such as 100% security for your life. Be aware of that. You can get hit by a car, you can have a death stroke, you can have unluck and get hit in a way that will change your life entirely, drastically. And this possibility is existing every day. So embracing life does not only mean embracing the goods and values and the beauty of life, and embracing risk and your heart, your intuition, but also and mostly it means embracing death as the last encounter you will have in your life. And embracing that means that you are aware of it and that you make your daily decisions based upon that realization and that awareness that your life might change or might end in an instant. And becoming aware of this also means acting from that need, that wish inside yourself to somehow develop and fulfill yourself before your life will be ended. So embracing life means embracing death as well, and choosing death, the reaper, as your guidance for life. When sometimes you don't know which path to choose in your life, then wonder what yourself in 50, 70 or 80 years from now would tell yourself. If you are now already very old and on the edge of dying, in the process of letting go of all material things of this world, what would you advise your younger self to do? Think about this very intensely and long. What would you advise your younger self to do? And then act upon that advice, okay? So that you might not maybe feel regret when you will actually be called upon the lands of death. So, embracing life means embracing risk and acting out of intuition. Acting out of intuition means to somehow sometimes follow the voice of your heart, you know? Acting right and doing the right thing means to silence the voices in your head that are repeatedly telling yourself that something is wrong, that something is not perfectly right, that you should be doing something else with your life right now, right? You might have realized these voices, you might know them from that point in time when you're trying to fall asleep. They usually wake up and annoy you and keep you awake. And once you start doing what you are supposed to, what you're feeling inside from your heart, drifting upon your head and in your life, then you will realize those voices get quieter. Because there is no need for your own real self, for your true self, to still be nudging upon your construction inside your brain, your rational, secure, logical system that's working up here, that has created the construct of yourself, which has been influenced and manipulated many times from your outside world, from society, from advertising, so deeply that you often cannot realize it yourself, that you have been wired for the need of consumption, for the need of security, which is wrong, because that's not the natural state of this world. This is not the natural state of yourself. This is not engraved in your DNA. So encounter danger and encounter growth and pain. So sometimes you get this feeling inside your heart that you have to make this decision in a certain way and that it will be right. Listen to that voice and trust. Have trust in yourself. That's another main necessity in order for you to embrace life. Every morning you wake up, I challenge you to stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself with a big fat smile, I love my life, I love myself, I'm able to love and embrace the people around me, and I'm gonna do whatever I want to, but I'm gonna do it right, and I'm gonna do it 100%. Right? So keep continuously every morning telling that yourself in order to build trust, in order to build self-confidence and joy. Auto-suggestion or affirmations. You might look it up. Very powerful practical mean in order to improve yourself. Then, next step, get rid of negative thought pattern. So create yourself many reminders in your environment, physical environment, on your phone on a daily or weekly basis, at your desktop computer or laptop. Create notes on your door, on your mirror, and remind yourself, think purely positive. So in the beginning this is the most difficult, and the more you practice it, the more it will become easier for you. So you really need to build that awareness. You need to build that you need to implement those reminders in your reality in order to remind you that you're not allowed to think negatively. You need to imagine your brain, your mind, as the manufacturing site for your entire life. And when you use goods that are negatively charged, when you're thinking thoughts that are negatively wired, then the products that will come out of this manufacturing sites in terms of voice, what you're saying, and in terms of your actions, what you're doing, will be shaped negatively as well. This is really important. Your fundament is inside here, so you deserve it to think positively, to have a positive mindset. Just remind yourself whenever you are detecting thoughts like, oh fuck my life, I just want to get out of here and everything sucks and everything is shitty, something like that. Remind yourself, wrong way. It won't help you at all to think that way. Also, it's easy, of course, because most people are doing it, but it's wrong. And use the instrument of opposition in order to get into a very positive mindset instantly. And this instrument simply dictates you to flip the thought entirely. So whenever you detect yourself thinking, oh, my life sucks, then you realize it, you build that awareness, and then you start thinking again, oh fuck, my life is amazing. Something like that. The opposite, right? You always need to think the opposite. If you're thinking really negative thoughts, of course. If you're thinking positive thoughts on the other side, you don't need to correct yourself. This is really a long-term practice. You need to be aware of that. But giving all these fundamentals, right? You're again listening on the voices that keep nudging you, that keep pointing into a way that seems risky, that seems unusual, but something is pushing you that way. Listen to their voices, because you will get rewarded to do so. Remember, embracing life also means embracing death. What would you tell yourself when you are right now in the brink of death? What would you change? Remind yourself and have trust in yourself, because you can definitely fucking do it. Keep reminding yourself of that and keep working on it. So embracing life really is difficult in terms that, in my humble opinion, it takes you away from all the secure roots of your parenthood and society and all of that, and it pushes you into a state of extreme awareness. Your senses will be more sharp and your work output will be much higher, because you are pressured to act upon it. You are pressured to do and achieve your best, because you don't have that security anymore, which is anyways a false construction of society, but we like to depend on it, we like to rest on it, we like to numb ourselves with consumption and then finally wake up when our life is over already and it's too late. So don't do that mistake. And also be aware that whenever you are putting yourself on the line for your dream and you're giving all you've got, you can be guaranteed that the universe or God or the spirit, destiny or pure coincidence, however you like to call it, will give the second half and you will succeed. Have patience. It's a long-term practice. That's it for today on the lesson on embracing life. If you guys have any questions that you would like to ask me that I should make a video on, feel free to text me, write it into the comments. If you did like or enjoy the video, leave a like and a subscription. It would be really appreciated. And as always, most importantly, don't forget to show love.